How's it going, everyone? This is Brett Darian here, and today's video starts with just a single zip disk. I found this at a thrift store several months ago, and I didn't have a real use for it. I just picked it up because it was still brand new in its packaging, and I just don't see zip disks that often. But I have since opened it up. You can see it opens up like this, and the disc just slides out like that. And that is a zip disk. It's kind of like a floppy disk, although zip disks have a much higher capacity than your standard floppy disk. This is a 100 megabyte disk, but they also made 250 megabyte disks, and I think they also made 750 megabyte disks, but those are less common to find. But after buying that disk, I was like, well, I guess I now need a zip drive. And, well, I did go on eBay, and I found someone that was selling 2 zip drives. And here they are right here. And these are actually the 250 megabyte variants. So these drives will read and write to 250 megabyte disks. Though from what I understand, they will read and write slower to 100 disks. But either way, this drive here ended up not working. And this is the drive I actually wanted, because this one connects via USB, and it also needs no additional power supply. This bigger drive here is the parallel port version, so this will plug into like an old computer printer port, and then you will also plug in an additional power supply as well to it. So this requires some additional hookups. The transfer speeds will be really, really slow using the printer port. But this drive might possibly work, but I mean, with the rattling inside, it doesn't sound very promising. But I'm not able to test this because I do not have the power supply. And this drive requires a 5-volt power supply, which I do have some 5-volt power supplies, but the center pin on this drive is really thick, and none of the power adapters I have will fit this. And you can buy replacements on eBay, but it just seems risky, considering that I don't even know if this drive works. And it looks like that piece that was rattling around in there is coming out through the window here. Which, this is missing the window, but I do have it here. But either way, so I ended up with 1 zip disk and 2 zip drives that do not work. But fast forward to today, and I was shopping at my local Value Village, and I was happy to see this on the shelf. This is another zip 250 megabyte disk drive, just like this one, though this one is complete in its box and hopefully will work. And as you can see here, I only paid $5 for it. The NT though means that it was not tested, but for $5 I'm willing to take the chance. So on the box here, this includes this quick sync software, supposedly a $40 value, exclusive from iOmega. And of course it's USB powered, no external power supply needed. And it's also for PC or Mac. And now on the back here, it tells you all the features of zip disks. You can back up your software, connect computers almost everywhere, at work, school, home, or on the go. Archive files, including email, videos, text files, all that stuff. Of course, nowadays stuff like this isn't really, beneficial, because we have we have cloud storage and hard disk drives. Well, we don't even use hard disk drives anymore. Now we use flash memory and stuff that can hold like terabytes of data. So stuff like this isn't really needed anymore, but it's still really cool to use. And being the retro computer hardware enthusiast I am, I do want to try using this, because I've never actually used a zip disk. I never used any zip disks years ago. We just used floppy disks, and then we later moved on to CDs. So let's just open this box up here and see what all we get. So first, we've got this quick install guide. And we'll take out this carton. Something fell out there. Let's put that to the side for now. And in the box we have several software CDs. This is the iOmegaware software. And here's the quick floppy copy software. And we also got this, looks like the user manuals on this one. And it looks like this is another quick floppy copy disk. And another user manual. These might be unused. I'm not really sure. They look in really good shape. And we also got this guide here as well that tells us about zip disks. What will you do with your zip disk? You probably already have some great ideas about how to use your new zip drive. Well, not yet, but I'll try to think of some. And it looks like these are, are these actual stickers? I don't know, yeah, they are. Yeah, that's peeling off. So these are actual stickers. Actual stickers came with this device. And I guess you could stick these on your zip disks. So that's pretty cool. And here's some other information about it. Oh, there's more stickers. Alright, so that's pretty cool. And some even more stickers. Wow, games, resume, class notes, jokes, poetry, job stuff, crash protection. Alright. Old floppies. Yeah, could use that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. The early and mid 2000s was a pretty neat time to be into computer hardware because there was just so much different stuff. All right, and we even have the USB cable here, and it looks like this was not used. I mean, it looks like it's unopened, which is odd. And here is the zip drive, and there is a disk in it because I was noticing that it had an empty case in the box. This is the disc that came with the device, and it looks like they stuck the disc in the drive, but maybe they didn't actually use it. I'm not really sure. Or maybe they just had a spare a USB cable laying around and they just used that one instead of using the one that came with it. I'm not sure, but I will use this one, and we'll hook this up, and hopefully this one will work. Okay, so here we are at my laptop. This is running Windows XP. So the Quick Start Guide mentions that the first thing you should do is install the iOmegaware software. So we will do that first before plugging in the drive. Okay, iOmegaware setup. Click on Next. Accept the license agreement. That should be fine. Now wait for it to install. And I now have to shut down and restart my computer. Okay, I have now shut down Windows and rebooted. It wants me to register, but I'll skip registration. Well, it says it installed, but I'm not finding it here in the programs list. But no matter, it says it installed, so I guess we can now try connecting the drive and see if it works. Okay, so here is the drive. So now let's plug it in and see what happens. Let's see if this will eject. Well, it is not ejecting. Okay, well now it's saying to restart my computer again. So I guess I gotta do that. Well, I did get it to eject. I don't know why. You may have to press and hold the button. But now my laptop is really slowed down since I installed this drive. Now it's pretty much unresponsive. Computers, gotta love them. Okay, well, it's detecting the zip drive, it assigned it as drive F, zip 250, and I put the disk back in the drive, but now it won't eject it again. It just keeps blinking green, and it's not even attempting to read it or anything. Even when the disk was out, it still blinked green like this. Okay, so I figured out the problem. I did have the drive plugged into a USB hub, but after plugging it directly into one of the USB ports in the back of the laptop, you can now hear the disk has now spun up. And when I press the eject button, it spits out like it should. And you put it back in. And it now loads up properly. So do not use your zip drive with a USB hub. Plug it directly into your computer without using a hub. And now we can see that there is absolutely nothing on this disk. But if we go here, we can see here that there are 238 megabytes available on the zip disk, and there is no used space. Now I do have a file here that I'm going to try to transfer over. It is a MP4 file, and it is 212 megabytes. You can see it right there. So we're going to transfer this file. We're going to copy this file to the zip disk, and we will see how long it takes. I'll use this clock here to time it. Ooh, 19 minutes remaining. That's okay. Well, 6 minutes, 5 minutes, that's better. Alright, well, it is done. And I guess that did take about a little less than 5 minutes. So about 5 minutes to transfer over about a 200 megabyte file. Definitely very slow by today's standards, but for the year 2000 that was probably acceptable. I was just noticing in the box was this little slip here, and it says no zip disks are included in this package. So then I guess that means that the previous owner maybe bought this disk and just included it in the box. Maybe. But either way though, I will now put this disk in its protective case. And maybe I'll use that later. I actually do like these discs. They're really thick and they do have some weight to them. So they probably would have been nice to use back in the day. Alright, well since we now know that the drive does work, how about we actually read some other zip disks that I have. I did go on eBay a while back and I got this lot of floppy disks here that came in this nice case. But not only did it come with this, it also came with a few zip disks. And here they are right here. And one of them is also a zip 250 disc, but most of them are zip 100s. And the one I'm most interested in is this one here because it says pictures and family and vacation. The rest of the files though all just seem to be just business files. This person may have been a realtor. There's a lot of like there's an appraisal file there, so I think this person was a realtor. But this might have some pictures on it, so we'll put this in and see what's on it. Oh, that won't go in. Oh, that might be okay. This disc has like a bent little sleeve there. Alright, is it reading the disk at all? I don't know, it may not be able to read it. Yeah, I think that it's probably not a good idea to use this disk. Alright, well let's try a picture backup. That one went in more smoothly. Oh, there it is. Okay. It just takes some time for it to pop up. And it is lagging quite a bit. So zip disks are not very zippy. Okay, I think it'll finally let me click on a file. This is actually slower than floppy disks, I think. I mean, though it might just be because of the particular disk, or maybe the drive. Even though the drive is working, it still may not be working, optimally. Now it's making some weird noises, some weird grinding noises. I think it just gave up trying to read it, because now it's not even spinning. Let's try ejecting that. Well, at least it came out. Okay, well, I guess I'll try the Zip 250 disc. Maybe that'll read better. Or maybe not. Yeah, it thinks there's no disk in the drive. Well, okay then. Alright, one more try. Let's try backup files disk. This is another Zip 100 disk. I don't think this drive likes any of these disks. It just wants to make a lot of noises. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean, I like old computer noises, but still, it would be nice if it worked. Let's put a stop to that. Well, let me put that disk in that I just wrote a file to and see if it'll read that. I mean, it should, right? Yeah, that one comes right up. So I guess these discs here that I got off eBay, I guess they're just all garbage. I guess they're just no good. Because the drive has no problem reading that other disc that I used. Alright, well, I guess that'll do it then. Alright guys, well, I guess there is no real point to this video, but I hope you at least enjoyed experiencing zip disks with me today, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.